I'm going to say a few things that I want you to please pay rapt attention to. Number one is that decisions decide destiny. Time does not decide destiny. Location does not necessarily decide destiny. Age does not necessarily decide destiny. Gender does not necessarily decide destiny. Ultimately, decisions decide an individual's destiny. It's important that you know this. I've said it here in this house that your decisions, more than your conditions, will decide the quality of your life or otherwise. Your decisions, more than your conditions, will decide the quality of your life. That means it doesn't matter what is currently happening in your life right now. Your decisions, more than your conditions, is what will determine the quality of your life eventually. The Bible and history is full of people who had beautiful conditions, but poor decisions turned those conditions to reflect the consequences of their decisions. An example is the prodigal son. The prodigal son had plenty. He had a responsible father. He had loving brothers and a family, but his singular decision to part ways with his family landed him in a destiny that we use today to warn people. Are we together? Lot was one who, connected to Abraham, had the opportunity to live a life of meaning and purpose, and he decided to separate from Abraham, and he found himself in Sodom. Decisions, more than your conditions, decide the quality of your life. Is someone learning? I have also taught you here that every decision is connected to consequences. A consequence is a corresponding outcome. A consequence, again I repeat, is a corresponding outcome. It's a resultant effect of a cause. So every time we make choices and decisions, please listen carefully, we do not choose consequences. There are consequences already connected by default to every decision. Poverty is a consequence. Failure is a consequence. Even death, in many regards, can be a consequence. There are certain sicknesses that are consequences beyond just medical conditions. A life of pain and depression and defeat is a consequence. Our world is full of people angry at consequences, not knowing that we are not given the power to choose consequences. Please listen. We are not given the power to choose consequences. Consequences are already connected by default to decisions. We make choices and decisions, and the decisions automatically gravitate us to the corresponding consequences. So you can find two people, one living an excellent life in the spirit, an excellent life as a man of God, an excellent life in destiny, and then on the other hand you will find an individual living a defeated life. What's the difference? It is not the will of God. What is the difference? It's not the presence of Satan. What is the difference? It's not even the territory where they are domiciled in. Ultimately, their decisions, there were consequences connected to those decisions. To one, he made a superior decision and benefited from a positive consequence. To another, he made a poor decision, and the decision delivered without fail the consequences. Every one of us right now is living in the reality of consequences. Are we together? Everyone living in the reality of consequences. What you just watched a few minutes ago is a decision that was made. Now there are consequences that follow this decision that was just made. Consequences of health, life, advancement. Decisions are so powerful that God himself reminds people that I set before you life and death. 30 and verse 19 of Deuteronomy. I set before you blessing and cursing. I set before you life and death. Something so powerful that it can choose life or it can choose death for you. Something so powerful that it can bring you to a realm of blessing or a realm of cursing. It says, therefore, this is my counsel. Choose life.